Some exciting news came out today. Dodge announced their new Daytona Charger electric vehicle and an actual inline 6 Charger as well. So let's go over it and kind of read between the lines of some things that I think are the case that people haven't really been talking about. Let's get into it. So, we're back in the office today and we have some pretty exciting news. The new Dodge Charger has been announced, but not everything so far. But let's just go over it and see if Dodge is going the right direction or not. First, we'll go over all the exterior photos. So let's go ahead and just kind of take a look. It looks interesting, I guess. It's kind of bubbly here in the back. But you gotta remember, they have a 2-door and 4-door variant, and they're basically what they're doing is no matter what variant you choose, there's gonna be enough room for people in the back. So that's actually pretty cool. Honestly, for any sports car or muscle car, I don't care, whatever, any performance car, the 2-door, the back seats are never usable. Name me one vehicle where they're usable for people who are 6 foot tall, 6'2" even, maybe even 6'4". Name a performance vehicle that's 2-door that can fit those people in there comfortably. Now this will, I can tell, because it doesn't really change from the 2-door to the 4-door. It looks the same. You just get a little bit more legroom in the 4-door version. But overall looks, I mean, it looks okay. Aside from, again, like I said, the bubbly part to make sure that people fit in the back, it looks okay. It does look similar to the pre-production model that we saw like back in 2022. It's just shaved down a little bit. So if we talk about the electric versions first, they've got the RT and the Scat Pack, and when they come out initially, if you order one, the RT will actually already have a stage 1 kit from Dodge's Direct Connection, which will give it a power of 496 horsepower, and then stage 2 will be the original, the first release of the Scat Pack one, and it'll give you 670 horsepower. Now what's interesting too is every single one of these variants for these cars are all-wheel drive. Now the ICE version, the engine version, is apparently supposed to give you an option to give you rear-wheel drive so you can do a burnout. I mean, that would help for rear traction, but for the front all-wheel drive, I don't know. But you can have fun with it, right? That's the point. That is the point. That is Dodge, to have fun. But these power figures aren't too bad, respectively, for the electric car. But the range is okay, too, 317 to 260. The weird thing is, though, is let's look at this a little bit further. We'll go over the interior in a minute. If they put the performance numbers, they don't. Okay, so the one thing that's interesting is that the RT tops out at 131 miles an hour, and the Scat Pack tops out at 134 miles an hour, doing a quarter mile in 11.5 seconds, and 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. So unlike the Plaid, which we're all aware of how the Plaid is, its acceleration does not literally die out until you hit the limiter, the miles per hour limiter. This is the main problem with the electric vehicles, is that they die out the faster and farther they are into acceleration. And that just proves it in the quarter mile time. 3.30 to 60 is pretty good, but it shouldn't be doing an 11.5 in the quarter mile. You want to know why it's doing 11.5 in the quarter mile? The power is dying off, and it's not in this article, but it's in another one. The electric Scat Pack weighs over 5,800 pounds, and I'm going to segment that into the ICE version. So if you look at the ICE version, the standard output engine is 420 horsepower with the twin-turbo V6, and the high output will make 550 horsepower. They're called the 6-pack. You got the 6-pack SO, and you got the 6-pack HO. Actually, I think it's kind of smart. So you will get an inline 6-cylinder engine, twin-turbo, up to 550 horsepower. Now, here's the thing. The Hemi engine is really, really heavy, and that was part of the reason why the Hellcats, the Scat Packs, the RTs, they were heavy. But it's the same chassis for the battery-powered vehicle and the engine vehicle. I'm afraid that even though it's the Scat Pack, not even the highest variant, not even close, because you know Dodge is gonna make a ton of high horsepower variants. that the 550 horsepower Scatback is probably still going to weigh around 4,400 to 4,800 pounds. I am afraid that they are still going to weigh so much. Now, the new Mustang GT just got more horsepower, and they weigh a little bit more than they did, but they'll still have anywhere from, oh gosh, what is that, 600 to 800 pound advantage on the Chargers. I don't know, unless I am completely off and don't think that, and it's not going to weigh 4,400 pounds. Dodge at least needs to have these weigh 4,200 pounds, at least 4,200, because these are going to be amazing tuner cars. These cars are going to be nuts. They are going to rival the G80 BMWs. You heard it here first. They're going to rival them, because if it does weigh around 4,000 to 4,200 pounds, just like the G80 BMWs, this is outputting more horsepower. They will be faster than the BMWs without any tuning. And then once tuning comes out, they're going to cause some problems because these engines are forged. Just like the G80s, I believe. So they're going to hurt some feelings just like the BMWs. But they can't weigh 4,400 pounds. Now let's just go ahead and go over the interiors real quick, and then we will close out this video. Because honestly, these interiors, and I've said this on a prior video, let me go ahead and zoom in here. There we go, just a little bit. I said this on a prior video. This is probably one of the best interiors in the performance car market, and I was hoping that they would keep it this way. It just looks insane. You can get a red interior, or you can get a black interior, but the the steering wheel looks kind of interesting. Either love it or you hate it, but I just think it's interesting. It looks okay. There's a pistol grip shifter that looks pretty cool. You do get a heads-up display. Very nice, very nice. It looks really nice. It really does. It looks comfortable. Man, you're really sitting back in those bench seats, though. That's kind of interesting. But that's the coupe. That's why it's like that. Look at the room. Look at the room. There's plenty of room in there. Not so much leg room, but there's plenty of room to sit in there. And the roof is higher, so you can sit back there comfortably. And if you got the shorter people in the front, and if the driver gives people enough room, and the footwells are big enough, because Dodge usually has pretty big footwells, there's plenty of room comfortably to go on a trip. The back seats do fold down, and it is a hatchback style looking for the, you know, the seats do fold down, and it is a hatchback style kind of car, so there is a ton of room to carry stuff if you need to. There's the Daytona badge there. Just give me some more like looks. Let's see if they can show a better. There's a better look of the screens. They look absolutely fantastic. I love the screens. I love tech when it comes to vehicles and stuff like that, and tech in general. But the tech looks insane. Let me see if they have another really good photo. Well, okay, you can kind of see it. These lights can change to like 64, 68 different colors, and you can also set it to where it changes depending on what you're doing. I have no idea what that means, but the interior looks super cool. It's super futuristic, and I think people are really going to enjoy it. The only problem is one, we don't know the high output electric vehicle yet. We're supposed to probably find out towards the end of this year, maybe in the beginning of next year, because the production of that will probably happen towards the end of 2025. And we also don't know the Hellcat variants and above of the inline 6 car. However, tuning the 550 horsepower inline 6 Scat Pack is going to be insane, and it's going to be able to hurt a lot of feelings. Now, obviously, tuning is not going to come out immediately. We have to wait for that, but it's going to be a monster right out of the gate, and there could be a good chance that it's the same engine they put in the Hellcat variant, which means all you have to do is tune, add a downpipe, some exhaust, stuff like that, to the 550 horsepower version, and probably make way more horsepower than the Hellcat variant to begin with. So let me know what you guys think about the new Charger Daytona, the electric one, the 6-pack. Let me know what you guys think. Are you happy that they're actually still keeping an inline 6 twin turbo combustion engine? Do you think it's going to be a monster? Are you excited for the electric car? They're all all-wheel drive. I think that's the biggest component. They just this. 6-pack cannot weigh 4,400 pounds. That is the problem. That's it with me. I'll see you guys in the next one.